Hey guys, welcome back. It's 2021. Let's start off the new year with graphing. That's a joke. It's worse than that. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I hope you guys had a great vacation and you're ready for the new year. We're going to be starting off with absolute value functions, and basically. When we graph absolute value functions, you are going to get a graph that is in the shape of a V. Okay, so your graph is going to be V-shaped. Okay, and I don't know if you guys remember what an absolute value is, but it's basically the distance from the number that we're taking the absolute value of to 0. So it's the absolute value of 5 is 5 because how many spaces from 0 is the number 5? Well, it's 5. Okay, and you could ask, well, what's the absolute value of -5? Well, if I take the absolute value of -5, I'm asking myself, what is the distance from -5 to 0? And it's still the same distance. It's 5 spaces, so it's going to be a positive 5 there as well. So anyway, the main thing is absolute value is always a positive outcome, no matter what value you put inside. Okay. So for instance, if we're going to graph this, you're going to get a V shape. And that's because if I say if x is -2, well then the y, the absolute value of -2, is +2. Okay. And if I ask for, here, let me show you on paper really quick. Let me just show you something real quick. You don't have to copy this down. We'll be doing enough copying. So if I say something like this, y is the absolute value of x, okay? Well, then if you make a t-chart like this, x and y, and we do values like -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, okay? I plug in -2, for that, the absolute value of -2 is +2, because that's 2 spaces from -2 to 0. The absolute value of -1 is just +1. The absolute value of 0, it's 0 spaces from 0 to 0, so 0. Plug in a 1, right? The absolute value of 1, it's 1 space away from 0, so 1. And the absolute value of 2 is 2 spaces away from 0, so 2. And so if I graph this, look what happens. I get this spot in the middle, 0, 0, right? Okay. And then graph this, -1, comma 1, so you go -1 and then up 1. -2 and then up 2. Okay, +1 and up 1, and +2 and up 2, and look at this shape I have. It's a V. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Your absolute value is going to be a V shape. All right, but I'm gonna show you a couple things today. You're going to need 2 things to do this work. You're going to need a calculator, a graphing calculator, and you're going to need graph paper. And if you don't have a graphing calculator, remember last semester we downloaded the graphing calculator onto our phone, so you can use that. And if you don't have graphing paper, that's okay. You'll need at least a ruler to draw some straight lines, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. This guy right here, what you need to know is this A is the slope, okay? This H, I'm going to tell you something funny, H opposite. And this K right here, this is K, right? Keep it the same. All right? So you have 2 things, H opposite and K keep it the same, and I will come back to those. And I'm sorry, you have a 3rd thing, the slope, which I'll come back to that as well. Okay? So for the first thing, let me just show you one example really quick. Let me just get you started with this. Y equals, here's my first example. Y equals the absolute value of x plus 1 plus 2. All right, so let me show you what that looks like on a calculator. Okay, so get your calculator, turn it on, clear whatever's there. Okay, what you're going to do is hit Y equals. Okay. Whatever's there, clear it, okay? And you're going to enter in the absolute value. Now, if you don't see absolute value, that's okay. You can go to math, okay? And if you scroll down here, should be able to see absolute value somewhere. Actually, let's see, maybe it's over here. Absolute value, there it is, number 1. So you're gonna hit number 1, okay? And you're gonna go ahead and put x plus 1. So x plus 1, okay, there's our absolute value. Then you're gonna arrow out of it. Now you have the absolute value of x plus 1 and then plus 2. So plus 2, and then you're gonna hit graph. Actually, you're not gonna hit graph, you're gonna hit table. So hit the second button and then table. And here we have, watch this, I'm gonna scroll up a little so you can see what it looks like. Okay. And if you notice, right here, I'm just gonna make this t-chart, x and y. I have these values, -3, I'm just gonna do this, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And -3, comma 4. Okay. -2, comma 3, -1, comma 2, 0, comma 3, 1, comma 4. Okay, and I'll stop right there because that's basically all we need. Watch this. I'm going to go ahead and graph this. Okay. -3. Oops, I should use a graph paper. That's funny. Let me use graph paper. This will be nicer on graph paper. Okay. Let me go ahead and draw this. And again, if you don't have graph paper, that's fine. Just put it on your own white paper. It's just easier to do it with graph paper, okay? All right, so here we go. We have -3, comma 4, so 1, 2, 3, comma 1, 2, 3, 4. -2, comma 3, so 1, 2, comma 1, 2, 3. We have -1, comma 2, -1, comma 2, right there. 0, comma 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 1, comma 4. 1 over 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and there is my V shape. You're always going to get a V shape every time you do the absolute value, okay? Now, here's what I want to show you, okay? So that's how you're going to do it with the calculator, okay? You're going to get that t-chart, and then if you want, just go ahead and hit the graph button now, and you'll see we got that V right there, just like we have, okay? Same thing, same idea, okay? But I'm going to show you something that is going to be a lot easier. I'm going to turn this thing off. We won't even need it anymore, okay? Watch this. I'm going to do the exact same example, okay? Using this stuff right here, okay? So check it out. So y equals absolute value of, I'm sorry, here. Let me erase this really quick. Notice that first thing it says? Notice the first thing it says the slope is a. Okay, well watch this. Notice we don't have an a there. So what number do you think is right there? It's a 1, isn't it? Okay, so if it's a 1, if you don't see anything there, it's a 1. So you're going to put 1 over 1. Okay, and then you're going to hit your absolute value. So x plus 1, and then plus 2. Okay. And all you have to do is this. Watch this. You're going to love it. So the slope, okay, you're going to say it's up 1 over 1. So up 1 over 1, okay? And then we also need this point right here. This point right here is called the vertex, okay? So this point is called the vertex. And this is also what we need to get started. The vertex, and that vertex is h comma k, right? But if you look over here, didn't it say h opposite, k keep it the same? All right, so if you look at our h value, it says +1. Okay, so what's the opposite of that? That's -1. So it's going to be -1 comma, and then k keep it the same. There's my k, so it's +2. Keep it the same, it's just +2 right there. So there's my vertex right there. Okay, and so now all you have to do to graph this, check it out. Let me go ahead and draw one more. Oops, no. Okay, check it out, ready? this is how quick it goes. The vertex is -1, 2, so you go -1, 1, 2, okay? And then from there, you do the slope, up 1 over 1. So you go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, just like that. And then you start at the beginning and you go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, just like that, okay? And there is my absolute value, okay? All right, took a little bit less work than that because we didn't have to use our calculator, okay? But we get the exact same thing, okay? So if you like your calculator, that's cool. If you like this method, this is the way I'm gonna be doing 2 more examples for you, okay? So let me show you 2 more examples. Here we go. Here is my first example, or second example, and that is y equals 1/4 times the absolute value of x minus 2 minus 3, okay? All right, and here all we have to do is write down the slope, okay? And look what the slope says. It's up 1 over 4. So just write up 1 over 4, okay? And then write down the vertex. We have the vertex, which is the opposite, h opposite, so that's +2, and k keep it the same, so that's -3. Okay, 2 things, we're done. Let's draw a graph really quick. Draw right here. All right, so now all you have to do, plot that 2, -3, so 1, 2, and down 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's my vertex. And now follow the slope, up 1 over 4. So up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then also go back to here and go up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. And that, my friends, is all it is. You could use a ruler too. Let's do that. Make the ruler, that's easier. Okay, and make a ruler here. Boom. Okay, so there's my absolute value. All right, let's do one more, okay? One more quick one. I'll show you what to do if you see a negative sign. Let's see. Y equals -3 times the absolute value of x minus 3 plus 4. Okay. All right, so now look what you have here. It's -3, so what you're going to do is put over 1, okay? And here is what we do for the slope. You have to say it's -3, so what that means is we're going to go down 3 over 1. So write down down 3 over 1, okay? And then the vertex is just going to be h opposite, so +3, comma, k keep it the same, +4. All right, and from here all you do, graph it, draw your x and y axes. Okay. And plot that vertex, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now go down 3 over 1. So down 1, 2, 3 over 1. Down 1, 2, 3 over 1. And go back to here. Down 1, 2, 3 over 1. Down 1, 2, 3 over 1. And draw this. And draw this. Put some arrows on the ends and you're done. Okay, guys? All right, hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, just get a hold of me, send me an email, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.